Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Jazzy, the video store Sasquatch, and we are doing another Throwback Thursday here. We kind of did a couple comfort movies from last week, or Ice Cube movies, whatever you want to call them. This time, I got a couple more comfort like comedies from the '90s that I watch a lot, honestly. The first one here is Big Bully, directed by Steve Miner, starring Rick Moranis, Tom Arnold, Julian Phillips, and Carol Kane. A writer returns to his hometown where he faces a childhood nemesis whose life is ultimately ruined. Only the bully wants to relive their painful past by torturing him once again, whose life he ultimately ruined. This came out January 26th of 1996, had a budget of $15 million, an opening of 1.1, and a gross of 2. Honestly, this kind of surprised me that this wasn't a hit. I believe it was a hit for a large portion of the last 30 years. So, um, let's see here. I'm trying to think. I think this movie came up on Stars when I was younger, and I watched it and I liked it. Obviously, I think it would have had to have been probably 2 years removed from the theaters, maybe even 3 years removed from the theaters at that point in time. Before I finally seen it. Yeah, that sounds about right. I wouldn't remember it because I've been about 11, 12. So, yeah, this is a funny movie. I love how in the '90s, and you'll hear me say this every now and then about '90s, like they don't ever take anything that's serious, very serious, or care, or even like there's no consequences to any actions whatsoever. So so we go into this movie. This guy bullies Tom Arnold here, and then or Tom Arnold bullies Rick Moranis as a kid. Then we come to it, and then the kid version of Rick Moranis finds out that he stole this moon rock or whatever and reports him as he's leaving town. So he wouldn't even have done it had he not been leaving town, which is kind of funny. Which ultimately ends up kind of wrecking Bang or whatever Tom Arnold's life because he ends up going to juvie with like serious like bad kid criminals and not just kids that kind of need an attitude adjustment like he did. So he kind of becomes more timid and everything, and then like that's kind of what we see as an adult. And then when he finally sees them, he gets like another confidence in him and all this blah blah. So when I say that there's like no consequences to any actions, basically this whole movie they go after each other with a very clever and awesome kind of like movie score behind it, which makes everything even more funnier and like takes it even less serious. Even though this is a very serious situation that's happening, which is totally '90s, which is another reason why I like this movie. But at the end of everything, they're just like, oh well, I think we can just become friends. Tom Arnold follows them halfway across the country. You know what I mean? I love this fucking movie. I love everything. Everything about this movie is exactly a '90s movie, not taking shit serious and with no consequences at all. And even rewatching it this time, I kind of noticed a couple of things that I kind of like, make me like this movie even more. Like when you rewatch it, is one of them. The scene where he thinks that he possibly could have well, he didn't really even in the movie he really didn't do it. Basically, Bang fell or Tom Arnold fell from a waterfall area that they have in the town, and he thinks then that he had murdered him, or at least guilty enough to murder him. And he goes into the police station, and like there's this whole dramatic scene. But like when you really like think about it, this guy's a writer. Of course, he would go to this and make this a very dramatic scene. So it's just little things like that that make this movie really good. And then like when you're kind of hearing explain the story and anything like that, you kind of get the writer out of it. So now you're kind of following it like a book too as well. I think it's very well done. If it's not a movie you've ever seen, it is on Amazon. I think it has like 8 more days on it. Definitely check it out. This one is one of the ones, especially if you're like around my age, I think will kind of bring you back to that time too. So check it out. Big Bully, directed by Steve Miner. The second one I've seen more than once, but I'm not like a big Bully fan of it like I was for the other movie. But Larger Than Life, directed by Howard Franklin, starring Bill Murray, Matthew McConaughey, Jerry Adler, and Jeremy Piven. A motivational speaker discovers that the inheritance his father has left for him is in form of an elephant. This came out November 1st of 1996, and it had a budget of 30 million, had opening of 3.7 million and a gross of 8.3 million. So this is another kind of bomb, along the lines of Big Bully, but it definitely found its way around on Stars, for sure, because it's definitely where I watched this movie. It's crazy to think this movie came out in 1996 and Matthew McConaughey is in it, and he's actually like a hilarious character. You barely understand what he's saying with his accent because he like goes thick into the Texas accent part of everything. And like basically, Bill Murray kind of screws him over to use his semi to haul the elephant across town. Another thing, the '90s don't take everything serious, and then like he just expects it like to apologize and he's gonna be happy, and they go after it. But he gets rewarded, or not rewarded, but inherited this elephant in New York or in some town on the East Coast, and he has to get all the way to Hollywood, and I think all the way back to Cincinnati or something like that. With his elephant, he has no plans, no car. He's from New York, that's for sure that he is from New York. There's no transportation, so he has to walk this elephant, I guess, across the country is his assumption in 1996. I mean, that's not a really bad assumption. I mean, and today I don't even know what would you do. He kind of has to bribe his way onto a train to get to places, and it's kind of becomes a cross country trip movie, which I kind of love these cross country trip movies. I think that they're not done today for whatever reason. I don't know why. Maybe just people think that it's done too much. They're not like the two movies we just took about don't sound very funny, but like when we get them and we watch them and we see the heart, especially in this one, and we see like the comedy and the brevity of everything in Big Bully, and we get like a really good comedy relief, even though it's not like the best story. Like a dude lost his dad, like this elephant struggling, he's struggling. He just found out he had the dad on top of everything. His mom been lying to him, and all this. So like, and he has to like work and like do stuff that he is like responsible for as well, like this. So we have the backdrop of these very seriousness, and we take this whole both of these movies with comedic little film scores, and behind we get Bill Murray kind of being Bill Murray going through the country. Like why can't how hard is that to do today? I mean, I don't feel like it would be that hard to make a movie like that today and still be funny. It's just it isn't done. I don't know why. I think maybe the '90s was a little bit more optimistic, and today's time is a little bit more pessimistic. So that's kind of part of it, but not trying to get into that, but this one is hilarious. The elephant's funny in it. Like just watching them kind of do stuff like this. Like I said, we have to watch him kind of walk through the country, and kind of get spots and how and kind of like con his way into the next way to the next ride over. And then in the end, we kind of find out that the place he was originally going to go wasn't the place that he thought was the best for the elephant after kind of growing attached to him, like we always do in these movies. So yeah, definitely check this movie out. It is on Amazon Prime, like the other one. I think this one definitely has 8 days left. So if you're gonna check it out now. And that is Larger Than Life, directed by Howard Franklin. Then the box office for September 19th through the 21st had Demon Slayer at 17.3 million at number one still, with a total of 108.5 million dollars. That's amazing for an anime. I'm sure that whoever is associated with this movie is very happy today. Him had a $13.3 million opening weekend. I don't know what they expected. I feel like that is a good solid number for around the studio expectations. I probably would have wanted 23 million, but of course everyone would want $10 million more. So I would have even thought around that. I probably would have guessed around 17 million if I was gonna put a guess on it just because of marketing and time and stuff like that. So 13.3 is a pretty solid opening weekend for him. And The Conjuring Last Rites, still hanging in with 12.3 million with a total of 152.9 million. We went through The Conjuring like subtitles and everything. We know that they're just huge movies. And this one is another one. I'm sure that worldwide we're talking 300 millions of dollars of maybe even 400 millions of dollars. You know what I mean? So congratulations on WB there. Um, they kind of took over that little horror spot there for this year. I mean, not they. I mean, everything WB's done is done pretty well this year, so they have to be happy about their year. Um, that is our Throwback Thursday. Let us know about anything I had mentioned in the comments below. And thank you guys very much for watching. And please have a good rest of your day or night.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comments section. And see you next time in the cave.